introduction of how nice I am. Here's a funky introduction of how nice I am. Here's a funky introduction of how nice I am. Here's a funky introduction of how nice I am.
The purpose was a mission to cause friction and rattle the way your life on this planet. In addition, change the course of history, not figuratively, literally. Hit them with ease with a message of peace, recipe for stress to ease. But I get tested and pressure makes aggression release. And then I turn into the beast I didn't wanna be. A savage when confronted by MC wannabes. Never gonna be's become deceased in front of me. I got that Malcolm Baldwin, Huey P energy. I talk to God about the plan daily, that's synergy. I've been directed to give two fucks about being respected and never leave behind the art form that y'all neglecting. Yo, check it, I'm off balance like elections. My voice box, my vocab, my inflection, my weapons. Maybe I should relax, chill out, and have a session. Nah, fuck that, fuck the world, cypher den. That's what. Yo, I'm RamBunxious. I'm a Madison-based MC, Madison, Wisconsin. Grew up in Arizona, man, and I'm just here, man. What's up, BoFaat? Let's do this, man. Let's do these questions. 11 questions.
What's up, bro? What's up, bro? Nice
What's
to have
happening?
you on the show. You'll be the first of many.
That's what's up, man. Yeah,
right.
I'm excited. This is gonna be fun.
So,
you mind if I smoke my cigar?
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro.
All right.
So the first question, you kind of said a little bit about it already, but let's go a little deeper into it. It's like where you're from, where you're originally from, and where you're at right now, and what's the scene over there like? You know, in your place where you're at right now, the hip hop scene.
All right. Well, I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky, man. And then when I was about 8 or 9, I can't remember exactly, we moved to Phoenix, Arizona, on the West Coast in the U.S. And then when I was about 25, I moved to Madison, Wisconsin, where I'm at now. My daughter's mom was from here, so we moved here. And I've been here ever since about 2004. And the scene here, man, it's always been ups and downs in it. We had a lot of times where cops were breaking up shows because they were trying to basically stop hip hop from happening in the city in certain ways. There was incidents that happened, stabbings, a couple shootings, or something. And we just all persevered. I know a lot of cats that have been around here the whole time and before me that are still doing it. I'm still going. One of the elder, I guess, people in the scene now. But it's still going. I mean, even with COVID and shit, I've seen video shoots. I did a thing called Written Rumble, a MC face-off kind of show, and we did that. I mean, it's gone as well as it can go in the pandemic times.
yeah. So for people, let's say outside of America who don't know too much about all the several individual cities, how big is your place? I mean, what's the population and you know?
It's about 260,000, maybe 300,000 with the outskirts. It's decent size. You know what I mean? I grew up in a bigger city, Phoenix, mostly, so it was a little different for me getting used to. But it's cool. It's cool though. It's a good size for just doing what we do. And they support arts, but you know, hip hop has been weird. You know what I mean?
Okay. You have like also a big trap scene over there, I guess.
I'd say just because there's younger cats, yeah. I don't know. I'm not into the trap scene much, so I can't really speak on that. You know,
you can't avoid
but yeah, there is
hearing about it, right?
Yeah, but I mean, but they do have, there's cats here to do that shit. But you know, like and I fuck with some of them, but I don't really get heavy into it. You know.
Yeah, that's
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. So how far are you from Milwaukee? Because I know you do a lot with Danku and. You know,
I'm an hour and a half. About an hour and a half.
Okay, so it's not that far. It's not that.
Nah, you know, I don't get down there much. You know, but I used to get down there here and there. You know, but that was also not having a car at the time or whatever. You know.
Yeah.
But now also with this going on right now, you know,
exactly.
But, you know, but yeah, it's not far. You can skip down there quick. You know, it's like Chicago's 2 hours from here too, in the same direction.
Chicago.
Basically.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's that gives some reference too. You know.
All right. Cool. What, if you remember, what was like the first hip hop song you heard, and what was the first hip hop song made you falling in love with this style of music?
Yeah, man, it's a lot there. I'd say the first one I heard was probably when you had said on our podcast, me and Danku and them, you had said Sugar Hill Gang, and that was, I remember seeing the record in my house. It had this like funnel tube thing, like this real colorful roller coaster looking tube on the front of it, and my mom would play that song, and I just remember us being in love with it, me and my older brother. And then it went to like Fat Boys, man. We used to, and Run DMC. We used to, it was so obsessive. We would say the lyrics over and over. We would get the tape recorder and record ourselves with the song playing, and then record ourselves reciting the lyrics over too. And we would have to take turns because we would fight over it. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I fell in love with it then, but didn't realize it. And then when I heard like, I mean, Nas, Illmatic, of course. But you know, the one that really got me and it made me write the rhyme that my homie came to me and was like, yo, that rhyme was cold. You should rap. You should really rap. And it was Lost Boys, Renee.
Oh, Renee, yeah.
Okay,
I know that song.
I heard that song and something about the storytelling. I've always liked storytelling.
Yeah.
That was one thing that attracted me to Nas, and the detail and description.
Yeah.
But when I heard Renee, I was like, man. And so I wrote this rhyme that was kind of like talking to a female kind of thing. Yeah. And my dude heard it. It was also when Ain't No Nigga by Jay-Z came out. No, ain't no nigga like that I got, right? I don't know. And so then I was like, let me write. You know, I wrote this girl rhyme. I was 18. I had written one rhyme before that at 15. And my brother was big in the scene rapping and shit. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna try to rap. But I was a sports player. I played football and basketball. Okay. Basketball mostly. But so I wrote this rap, and then my dude was like, yo, you should really rap. And so I kept writing. By the time I was 20, I was really into it. You know, I was going around freestyling at parties and writing. I wrote like, I was like you on beats, man. I wrote like 6 verses a day. You know what I'm saying? I would just be sitting there writing at work. Everywhere I went, I had a pad. I'll be at parties. People be drinking cake parties, you know, like drinking. And we'd be at cake parties. I'd be on the couch at whatever house we were at, you know, house party. And I'm sitting there writing rhymes. And people are like, yo, what are you doing, man? Like, people are partying. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm writing rhymes. And so then people would so I'd have 5 or 6 people around listening to my rhymes, and I'm like, okay, you know, I can actually do this shit, you know. Yeah, so Lost Boys by Renee was probably the one that made me really fall in love and say, and it's a weird song. I mean, it's kind of ironic because the song it is, you know, but yeah. So
that's cool funny, because that was one follow-up question. What was the song that made you want to rap, you know, or write your own?
Yeah, that was definitely it. I Gave You Power too.
Oh yeah.
I Gave You Power, where Nas puts himself in the perspective of a gun. Yeah, it wasn't the first time we heard that. I mean, Pharoah Monch and Organized Noise did it. Him and Prince Poe, they did it. But it was something about the way Nas has hit me. Yeah. And I was a big Nas fan. It was simple. It was right to the point. So that was another one. Yeah, that's man, I still listen to that. It's in my rotation all the time. That was another one though that had me like, yo, I love the storytelling and description and putting yourself in the perspective of something, to me, was some of the most genius writing. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, that will go down in time. You know what I'm saying? So I try to write like that. Like I wrote a song, like that's the kind of song that spawned this song I have called Truth, Love, Joy. And it's like, I met a man named Truth, a woman they call Love. They married and made a child named Joy. Right. Yeah. So it's like it puts people in the perspective of these feelings, you know, or these, you know, these things that are these positive affirmation type things. You know what I'm saying? Right. So yeah, it's interesting though. So yeah, but that's where that came from. You know what I'm saying?
Cool. That's cool, man. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. So do you remember your first demo you did? Like your first proper track that you recorded? Like you must be so probably heard it like 100 times after you recorded it and stuff.
Oh man, okay, so there's 2 things. The solo, I recorded 2 tracks with my man Flossie. Shout out to Flossie if he sees this. He probably will. He's actually coming on our podcast, me and Danku's Pick Apart the Passion. He charged me $20 a track or something like that, or per hour, and I did 2 tracks, and you know, I was cocky a little bit and shit, and so the mixes didn't come out great because he was fucking with me, I think. I don't know, maybe not, but he, you know, I got what I paid for and kind of came with this attitude like I was the shit. And so, but either way, so I never really finished them, but they were done kind of because you know. So I was going around with these 2 songs, playing them for everybody. One was called "Sleep in Peace," and it was like, how can I sleep in peace when I see these streets and they causing nothing but grief? Like it was like this introspective, like life shit.
Yeah.
And I remember I took that one and this other song I did that was mainly verses. I don't even know if there was a hook. And I took them bitches and I played them. And man, we'd be sitting outside my car drinking 40s. I'm like, yo, peep my tracks to everybody.
Yeah,
And then I had these 2 homies, my guy L, shout out to him, and then my guy KB Keith. He's passed, rest in peace. But we formed this group called The Recipe. You know, like cooking, like recipe.
Yeah.
And we had this song called Recipe Motherfucker. Oh man, what is it? Recipe Motherfucker, King of the Streets. I forget how it went, but we had about 6 songs we did at this place called Conservatory of Music. And it was the school where students would, once they got to a certain level in their studies, they would be able to record people for free in this professional studio. Okay.
Cool.
So we would meet students at parties and they would be like, oh, you rap? Yo, y'all want to come to the studio? It was like a popular way for MCs in Arizona at the time on the east side of Phoenix or Tempe, in the east side of the city, to get free studio time in a professional place. And you said, you know, you never been in a professional booth. You're like, oh yeah, let's go. You've been at people's home closets and shit. You know what I'm saying? So we recorded about 9 songs and then started doing shows and with with my brother and his homies, TMC Presents, who did a lot of shit in Phoenix. They put us on shows. And so we just started rocking shows, us 3. One of them is from Allentown, PA, and one was from Delaware. And then I'm from Louisville, but grew up in Phoenix. We were all in Phoenix. And it was just a crazy mix, man. They were super hard, like super street, but also like knowledgeable. And like Keith, he was like an older dude than us. But at the time we was probably like 23, 24, 23 when we started doing that. And he was 30, 31. So he had a little more wisdom. So he was like a KRS-One type person when it came to teaching on the mic. I was in the middle of like, I like to do drugs and drink, but I also talk conscious rap too, so it was like a middle thing. And my other dude, he was just hard. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's like, I body your nigga, like he was hard. He real aggressive, you know what I'm saying? And so it was a great blend. But that was the first shit, man. And we used to play that shit everywhere for everybody, I mean, it was like, we're giving it away.
So that was like early 2000s, you can say, or?
Yeah, this is 2002, 2003, maybe 2001 even. Before that, I was just going around the parties freestyling, battling cats.
How your voice sounded then? I hear a lot of old tracks from Danku. I made like remixes or remade them, and his voice is like way different than now. It sounds younger, obviously, but also like the pitch is higher.
Well, there was a style difference back then, I think, too. You were trying to come in and grab. You was I killed him, Mike. We were coming like that. So my voice now, you hear it now, it's like it's deeper, and so now I rap more like that, like on our shit that we got coming up. There's definitely a deeper tone to my voice now. I learned how to use my voice, whether it be rapping or singing, singing especially. That came way later, where I learned how. Wait a minute, I have a singing voice. I'm just singing wrong. You know what I'm saying? So, but with that back then, man, I literally rap like this. Like, how can I sleep in peace when I see these streets? It was like, it's totally different. You know what I mean?
It's totally different.
Yeah, it was high. But it was like, I love rappers like Keith Murray. You know what I'm saying? And even the Nas stuff, his voice is higher. I think when you're younger, you just got so much angst and energy.
More energy,
and I think then you started realizing, okay, let me,
yeah,
exactly. And then you settle into like a pocket. You know what I'm saying? And then you're like, okay, cool. I'm warm and cozy right here. You know what I'm saying?
But to be honest, I like Nas most in the earlier stuff. You know what I mean? I still like him. Yeah. But it was different. I don't know. Maybe also the beats and everything. But the first Nas album is still, to me, until now, it's hard to say the best of all, but still, still my thing. Yeah. If you could choose a famous producer to produce you a complete album, who would that be?
Oh, man. One. Wow. Let's see. You know, just in terms of spectrum and range, it's hard, man. I got like 3, but you know,
Only
right
one.
now, where I'm at, I think I would pick Pharrell.
Pharrell, okay.
I think so
Okay.
because, okay, like of course Dre, another one would be like Timbaland, but the Pharrell because of the spectrum of how the shit he's done. He goes from happy to like Jay-Z's um song where he's talking about I don't know why I love the life, you know, the
Yeah.
allure of breaking the law. There's always so much. That's a hard gangster, you know, mafia style
But
track. Like he can do
still,
the whole
what I
spectrum.
want to say is I didn't think you would pick him, but I'm not surprised you would pick him. I mean, it really fits you. It suits, you know, it suits
Yeah,
you.
I think the singing stuff I do, and that would be like, it would be easy, it'd be effortless. You know what I mean? And I think he could do every type of track I want to do. And so I think that's, but I mean, all of them could, of course, but I think me and him would have a synergy. I
I
really
think
think if I had a, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
we could get along well.
Yeah,
I think so.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So,
great for
you
that.
know, Monday, you know,
What
Pharrell,
else?
if
Yeah?
you see this for some accident reason.
You will see that. You will see that. It's let's step away from hip hop for a moment and have a
Yeah.
question. You know, so also this will have some follow ups.
Okay.
So let's start first. What is your favorite movie genre?
Comedy.
Comedy.
Yeah,
Of course,
absolutely.
got to
Yeah.
be comedy.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I you know, I want to do I've done stand up a couple times. I want to keep doing
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I have comedy characters I've thought of and actual scripts and shit that I've started. Comedy because I just like laughing at, I don't get into action much because most of the time it's not believable. I
Yeah,
don't get into horror much.
yeah.
Just the negative imagery, and it doesn't scare me. It's just kind of So yeah, a funny thing is I actually like romantic comedies too. I think the dynamics of relationships and making that funny can be
Yeah,
hilarious
yeah.
sometimes. You
I
know what I
mean,
mean?
I've watched tons of them, you know, with my wife,
Yeah.
and you know, and
Mm.
I love the ones that's funny. Like, actually, we just recently watched, what was it? It's with this British actor called Hugh Grant.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He wants to marry this girl, but her father is like a mafia boss and shit. It's in New York.
Yeah,
It's a bit
I
older.
forget what that is, but I know what you're
I
talking
forgot
about.
the
Yeah.
name of it, but we
Yeah,
watched it
me
just
too.
recently. And,
Oh
I
yeah.
was cracking up nonstop on that.
Yeah,
You know?
I'm telling you, if people do it right, it's fucking
Yeah,
hilarious. Like there's
yeah.
one Four Christmases with Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon where they
Oh
go
yeah.
around to all their family's house for Christmas. That's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen, man. And then there's Something About Mary, and there's a gem that not many people know about, 500 Days of Summer. And it's the girl who was on the New Girl show. I forget her name, Zoe Deschanel, and then the what's his name, man? He just was recently in a film I saw. I forget it. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Those two.
Oh,
Man, it's one of the funniest movies ever. It counts the days in a relationship and then
okay.
goes back through the days as if like this is what really went on. Like the honeymoon shit and
Yeah.
then the real shit.
Okay.
Like so 500 days, and the girl's name is Summer, so it's 500 days of their relationship. It's fucking wild, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, so that's my favorite right there for sure.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
But still have to ask you. I mean, yeah, you already said that you're not too much into action movies, but you know me,
Yeah.
right? I gotta ask you. You know, I'm in when it comes to movies. I'm also big into martial art movies.
Mhm.
But you know, like you said, they're probably less believable than action movies
Yeah, yeah,
sometimes. So,
yeah.
do you have any martial art movie where you said, well, okay, that one is cool, that one is cool?
Yeah, I don't remember what it was called, but there was this movie that my dudes used to watch, and it was about this kid who was studying under a master, and I don't remember at all what it's called. And he showed him how to fight, and then like I forget what. Damn, I wish this movie I could remember. But the kid had to he stood on one leg. There was a scene he stood on one leg and beat like 12 other kids that were studying under a different art form.
Okay.
and they came and tested him, and he beat them all standing on one leg with one foot, right?
Okay.
Bow, like, oh, it was unbelievable.
Was that an American movie or
I have
Asian?
Nah, it wasn't. It wasn't American. It was Asian for sure. But I don't know. I can't.
Okay.
I wouldn't be able to tell you. It's so many years ago.
Okay.
Probably 20-some years ago. You know what I mean?
Oh, but
cool, yeah, that always amazed me. So that movie. But yeah, I used to get into to kung fu films, martial art films a lot because my dudes did. So I used to chill and watch them with them, and I liked them a lot. But I'm not into it to where I can name them or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
It's okay. It's okay.
You know, but yeah.
Going back to hip hop music, what do you think was so far your big achievement in hip hop? Your biggest achievement?
Wow, I don't know. One was me and I don't know what was my biggest, but one was me and this guy Vet R1 had a group called Play Fair Cypher around here, and we got Hip Hop Album of the Year award. And it was one we did with DJ Pain One on the beats, and we banged it out. It was just a lot of time and effort put into it over about almost a year, and to get the award was like, it was real cool. It was like, okay, man, we did something that was, you know, that was dope. So it was Madison area hip hop awards, and we got the album of the year. So that was dope. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I don't know biggest. I guess I'm always looking to what the next thing is, so I don't think about it, I guess, really much. You know?
I mean, biggest doesn't mean money or gold record or something, you know, but
that was cool, the recognition, you know.
Yeah, cool.
Validation for your work, kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Dope. So another non-hip hop question.
All right.
Just mix it up.
All right.
If you could choose where to live except in the USA, where would that be?
Man. I haven't been outside the US much. I've been in Mexico basically.
It's okay. I mean, just by what you know about, I mean.
Yeah. You know, well, Akon's building a city, man. And so once Akon gets done building his city, maybe there. But you know what places intrigue me and people have told me about is Senegal, and Cameroon. I had some friends from those places, and they told me how dope it was, and I'm like, okay, that seems intriguing. I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. Maybe, you know, shit, I don't know. Maybe Caribbean somewhere, you know, I don't know. You know, Dominican Republic or Jamaica or something. Shit, I don't know. Somewhere nice.
It's good. I mean, I've been around a bit, but I have to say, from where my wife is from the Philippines, right? So I have lived in the Philippines for 3 years.
Yeah.
And Philippines is quite, I mean, it's not all poor there, right? And not
right.
But some would call it a third world country. Third world country, but I never seen more friendly and happy people than in the Philippines.
That's what's up.
I was in Asia, I was in China and Hong Kong and all that, but those people, they are different. You know, I mean, they are, many of them really poor, but they have a totally different approach. You know, they smile, they talk to you, you know, and it's not like a fake smile or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's just that I was really impressed by that, you know.
That's what's up.
And living there for 3 years, when I came back to Europe, I was changed already, you know. I mean, I was like not into need all that, I need this and need that and all that, you know what I mean? So it was really a good lesson. It was a good lesson, you know. I started to appreciate small things more than, you know, all that.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's dope. I got to get out of this country, but you know now it's rough. But I got to get out of this country more, man. I need to come to Germany. Shit.
Man, that would be dope.
You know what I mean?
For me personally, I started doing that even when I was young. It helps, you know. It helps. To see something different, a different culture, you know. Yeah,
I did that around the U.S. a little bit. And went different places. You know, when I was younger, Wyoming, I lived in Colorado, or different states, and you know, and going to Mexico and partying and shit was interesting. And you see, but I was in actual towns too, where like somebody that was from there took us around the real town.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's always a good help, you know, having some like someone local, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly. He was from there, and he took us all over. Like we went to the fish market to buy weed one
We
time.
bring you to the right places.
Yeah, we thought we almost got robbed at a fish market, man, in Mexico.
Oh, word.
Yeah, we was buying weed, and the dude said in Spanish, and my dude understood Spanish. They were from Uruguay, and they were like, "Yo, man, we should rob these motherfuckers," basically. And we got the fuck out of there, basically, as fast as we could.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay, cool.
That's my Mexico adventure.
Very cool, man. So it's time for the 16 bars thing. You want to do it in the car? Yeah.
Yeah, I just do it right now. I think I got enough battery.
Okay, cool.
So this is from a track we got coming up on the Fireside Mind album.
All right.
I'm gonna just say all now to tell everybody this whole verse is weed references. You know what I mean? So you'll see what I'm talking about when I spit it. All right, check it. I was on the Pineapple Express, fell asleep and had a blue dream. Wedding cake on my face. Now I'm married to the rhyme schemes. I also had an AK-47 in my hand and a strawberry cough I got from that Jack Herrera man. My OG cushioned me by showing me northern lights. We avoided a train wreck, dodging a rhino that was white. In my dream, I met an alien OG, a grape ape and Barry White, chilling at Candyland with Prince and Hendrix on a purple haze night. My homie was a wedding crasher, a grease monkey chewing bubblegum, riding a golden goat, and he thought he was God's gift. Bridesmaid told him, "You smell like lemon skunk and skunk number one. You're such a Moby Dick. We had to calm her down, son. I ate some lamb's bread and thought about Chernobyl. Talked to Three Kings drinking Slurricane and Gary Payton solo. He was drinking black water and me cereal milk. This whole verse was weed references. Jack the Ripper killed.
The current state of hip hop in a few words or sentences.
I think it's great. I think the independence is key. It's what hip hop's about. I think even with the young guys doing the music they doing, and then the older cats like us, you know, still doing the purity of the old school form. I don't want to say purity, but you know what I mean. I think both have to exist. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think there's room for everything. I think it's going to be a turn when boom bap gets back on the radio and the radio changed, and not only radio but more popularized. There's young cats like Izzy's one. There's other young cats that are embracing the original form of art of hip hop. You know what I mean? And you know, and so I think both exist, and I think both are great. And I'm not mad at anything. You know what I'm saying? I do what I do. Next person do what they do. It can all is coexistence that can happen. That's what I love. Yeah, absolutely.
There's room for everybody.
Yeah, I don't like everything, but I ain't gotta like everything.
You don't have to, right? You don't have to. You know, it's like that. You know, you don't have to hate. You know, but you don't have to like everything. You know.
Exactly.
Hate is a waste of energy, I think.
I ain't got time for it. Exactly.
Yeah. Next one is kind of maybe outdated because I feel this is not really. It's not really a thing. Okay. But I still want to do it. But maybe it's not about the people, but just the taste of music. So what you're saying, what's your take on East Coast versus West Coast versus Deep South?
I think it's all blending. I don't know if it's a dated question. It's still different styles. I think it's all kind of blending. You're seeing New York dudes kind of get into the style that the South is doing. Yeah. There's a lot of dudes I've heard that I can't tell where they're from. And lyricism is wider on all coasts. I think there's spaces in hip hop. Oh shoot, hold up. Sorry, my phone went down to 10%. I think there's spaces in hip hop where there's that sounds haven't been heard, like the Midwest hasn't been heard fully. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think there's a lot of that. You know, but I think it's more blended though these days, honestly. You know, to where you're getting sounds from everywhere that are different.
I got a few cats I'm working with from Texas or Tennessee. That's the South, right? I mean, they drop the stuff on boom bap beats too, you know. So
right. Yep. Exactly.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's just cold ass Wisconsin. Still snow on the ground and shit. Well, it's melting kind of, but you know. It's still in piles.
Yeah, I mean, I hope we still have cold weather here, but no more snow at least, you know.
Yeah, it's
So,
getting. I don't think it's gonna snow again here. It's getting warmer.
yeah, I hope so.
But
Yeah.
warmer is like, 40 degrees.
Okay.
So
40 degrees. That's a lot over here. 40 degrees.
Well, that's no, but not Celsius, Fahrenheit. Remember?
Ah, Fahrenheit. Okay, okay.
We were talking about that on the podcast
right.
before.
Sorry, man. Yeah. Right,
we still use dumbass Fahrenheit.
It's so good.
Hey, hold on one second.
But yeah,
One
man.
second,
I mean, even before when I was young, I always listened to all hip hop. You know, like it doesn't matter West Coast. I mean, I have to.
Yeah, same.
I admit I was a total East Coast head, but I still loved Scarface or the Ghetto Boys. From, you know, Houston or from a lot of rap from the West Coast. I love too. You know, even up to date. You know, but I gotta admit I'm an East Coast head. You know, but I listen to everything still. The next question is, like I said, it comes in 4 parts. First,
okay.
What's the GOAT album? Greatest
The best album
of all time.
Wow. Oh man. Shit. Me Against the World, Pac is one of them. And then another one to me is Life After Death is another one.
Biggie. Yeah.
I can't pick one. I can't do it. Because Illmatic is up there right there too. Reasonable Doubt. Extinction Level Event, the first one by Busta. There's a lot, man.
There's a lot.
Wu-Tang Forever is another one. Wu-Tang Forever is another one.
Yeah.
It's too many to name one, so I cheated, but I cheated a little bit.
So then, because the next question would be your favorite producer, but I mean, I know it's hard to answer, but if you had to say one that springs to mind first.
Man. Favorite. I think Timbaland might be my favorite in terms of what I hear when I listen to shit.
Okay, cool.
But Salam Remy is another one, a big one. I mean, just from the stuff he's done with Nas and other people, and then also Amy Winehouse, his production with her. So Salam Remy is maybe one of my favorite, just because of the span of music that I listen to that he's involved with. Yeah, cool. That might be it.
favorite, or maybe the best. Don't need to be your favorite, but who you consider a GOAT rapping and MC?
Oh, Black Thought.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, hands down. I think Black Thought might be the best MC ever. Period, and it's almost no contest. You know, I think he proved it with that. Well, first of all, his longevity.
Yeah.
But and the songs he's done with the Roots, but also recently his solo stuff is crazy. I don't know if people are paying attention, but just that fucking 10-minute freestyle he did, or it was half freestyle, half written, but. I mean, that shit is just. I mean, it was. He didn't miss a beat. He said it was about 60% freestyle, 40% written, or some shit. He said.
Yeah.
That's still. I mean, still to be able to go, that long is crazy. Yeah. Royce the 5'9" is one that's right up there lately that I think is gonna be, when it's all said and done, considered one of the greatest ever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, those two. Right now for me.
That's a good choice, man.
Yeah.
So female MC.
That I think is the greatest, or that I just like a lot?
No, greatest.
Wow, greatest female MC. Oh man, that's hard. Shit.
I wouldn't know what to say right off the top.
I think overall I'm gonna have to go with MC Light.
That's what's up.
MC Light was holding her own with all the dudes on a lyrical level when the greatest that we talk about, when your Coogee Raps was out, when your Rakim was out, when your Big Daddy Kane, you know what I'm saying? When all them dudes were running radio, she was coming in with hard shit, like, bars. And she actually tried to be more female, I heard at one point, but they were like, nah, we need you, you know, to bring that hard essence. And she killed shit. I mean, she killed shit all the time. But I'm gonna answer this in another way. My favorite female MC right now is Rhapsody. So I cheated again, but but I just had to say that because she's dope. I really like her. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I liked a lot Bahamadia. Remember her?
Oh yeah. I like Bahamadia a lot back then. Yeah, when she was really popping. Yeah.
And the one from Diggable Planets, but forgot the name.
Yeah, Ladybug.
Ladybug. Yeah, that's it. That's cool.
Yeah, me and Danko actually on Monday. This is gonna come out after that, but we interviewing or we got Doodlebug on the podcast.
Doodlebug, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I got him. I did the track with him together with Kenneth Masters.
Oh, yep. That's dope.
For his album and shit, you know.
That's what's up. Hell yeah.
Cool,
yeah.
The last question is more like, let's talk about it. I mean, you talk about it.
Yeah.
Hip hop, fashion, and weed always have been a big or an important part of the culture. What's your take on that?
The fashion and weed, you said?
Yeah.
Well,
it's always been a big important part.
Yeah. Well, I'll answer it with weed first. Weed has been a part of the culture of music culture because the inspiration you get from it. I mean, the freedom of the mind you get from it, and the different perspective, different thought process. I smoke all the time. I mean, I'm smoking weed right now. You know what I'm saying? And when I write, I've learned. You know, George Carlin once said something. And when it comes to writing, this is a point to it of how it inspires. But as you get older, you realize you don't need to smoke a whole bunch of weed, right? Like I'll take like 2 or 3 hits and then write a 16 or whatever. And it's just a hit or 2 or 3, just real light, you know what I mean? Just enough to get a little head change, you know, a little mind change. And I think that's been part of the culture because it's been part of music culture before hip hop, you know? I mean, the 60s, they was smoking like a motherfucker. They wasn't as good, and then you got Snoop and them who made it popular. I think drugs in general have been that part of that culture in different ways because drugs are part of American culture, and you know, very very heavily. You know what I mean? And that's hip hop spawns out of unfortunate circumstances in American culture. I mean, that's where we come from. So I mean, you know, drugs, which I don't consider marijuana really a drug in the same way at all. But you know what I'm saying, though? We smoke, we drink. You know, it's always been there before hip hop. You know.
Yeah.
So, but and then as far as fashion, like I think that goes back even when Adidas shell toes, you know, Run DMC in the black hats and the gold ropes. And even like the rappers in the 80s who were dressed in the shiny suits and shit. And it's always been a part because kids wanted to emulate who they saw. So, you know, the people were just dressing how they dressed and what they thought was cool or different. And people just caught on to that because it's in our face, it's on MTV. So we want to wear, you know, our clothes backwards like crisscross, or you know what I'm saying? All of that shit. House Party. If you watch the movie House Party, everybody was dressing like that or had the box cut. You know what I'm saying? That's always gonna be there because we want to be like the people we saw on TV. You know what I mean?
At some point, it became really popular for rappers to have their own brands and you know, clothing brands and stuff. You know,
I love it. That's just entrepreneurialism. Cool, you know what I mean? So
like, I mean, I don't know how much Timberland made just by selling Timberland shoes to hip hop cats, you know?
Absolutely.
Like,
that's why FUBU. Yeah, that's why FUBU and Carl Kanai were important, and Rockaware and Sean John. Those are all so important because we started owning our own clothes.
Yeah.
And then now, you know, I've started a clothing line before. I need to get back on it actually, called AO #AO, and it's like ass off, like rapping my ass off, it would say on a shirt, or working my ass off.
Okay.
And so yeah, I mean, so I think that's important. I think if we're gonna wear shit, we might as well own it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Cool, I mean,
but I love the shit, man. I think we know what we like. So hip hop should be making our own shit. Like Carl Kanai and FUBU and
all
that shit we used to wear, man. That shit was dope looking though. You know what I mean?
It was, man. Yeah. I had a whole
these
bunch
days,
of that shit too.
yeah, not many people. It's not about that as much these days because everybody has it. But wearing your own shit is cool now.
That's
whether
true.
it's a big fashion or not. That's the dope shit. Is wearing your own shit is cool because then you're flexing like I own this what I'm wearing on my back. You know, that's dope. That's dope. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
that's cool, man.
For sure.
So I thank you for being the first guest
man.
on this podcast.
I appreciate you having me. Hopefully the break.
It was so interesting. Really.
That's what's up. Yeah, really, I'm glad this is fun. Man. This is dope. Yeah. Dope idea. You know, let me know.
Yeah, super dope. So the last thing, if people wanted to look you up in the internet, where they find you?
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all that. RamBunxious Music. RamBunxious.
I will put it beneath later.
For sure.
You know, when
that's
I edit.
But RamBunxious Music, you can find that on YouTube. Pick Apart the Passion Podcast is the podcast. You can find that on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. About to start doing Patreon soon and really vamping all of that up. Yeah, man. I mean, Cypher Den Music with Danku. We on that page on Facebook. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, man. Shit. Look out, April 1st. Me and BoFaat right here. We got an album coming. So, and
really?
I got
then you got another album, right?
Yeah, I got one with Every Day that is about done too. It's in the mastering phases, you know, final mixing and mastering.
Okay.
That one is one we worked on off and on for like 4 years. We started it. Yeah, we started it with like 5 tracks. And he was trying to do like a mixtape of artists, and then I happened to do send him back like 4, and he was like, "All right, well, shit, let's just keep going." And then we added some of those tracks and some other tracks, and then we took some tracks away, and then we had all this period where we were working on a bunch of different shit, and so then we just finally came together like last year or 2 and really nailed down and started getting the shit done. Cool. COVID hit, so that kind of put a kink in it, but now it's about to be done, man. I can't wait. There's a video out there on YouTube, on my YouTube RamBunxious Music, called Apparition, which is the intro to the album. And then there's another one called An Old Tape, which is about the first time this older dude gave me the Illmatic tape, the full album. I had heard The World Is Yours, the single, because my brother and them were bumping it, but then he gave me the full album and was like, "Yo, check this out." And I was like, "Oh, shit." And I bumped it every fucking day for months. I mean, every fucking day, 2, 3 times, you know. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. I mean, that's sorry. That's a song basically recreating that story that's on that album too.
That's cool.
Yeah. So go check those out. Yeah, and look out for the shit, man. Good shit.
Again, brother.
It's a funky introduction of how nice I am. It's a funky introduction of how nice I am. It's a funky introduction of how nice I am. It's a funky introduction of how nice I am.
What's good, family? Welcome to my new podcast called Here's a Funky Introduction of How Nice I Am. There will be one-on-one interviews with the dopest underground MCs out there. 11 questions, 16 bars. Stay tuned as we go live very soon. I'm out.
It's a funky introduction of how nice I am. It's a funky introduction of how nice I am. It's a funky introduction of how nice I am.